Hey, Pusnet. On this one, I'm gonna do a little warning before I start. Uh, it's still kind of in the process, and as I'm reading for the next one that I announced before on nutritions and stuff like that, what I realized is that I didn't really do a good presentation on assessments. And so this will be kind of a two-part, as there's kind of two kind of assessment that it will do. This one will be is the first part because it will be more reading. But here's where I want to do this one with the warning. I'll put the PowerPoint that I did on a Dropbox, and so you'll be able to read about it, and because there's a lot of information in it, and it's more like a bookish kind of thing. And the reason that I want to put a warning is I do not want people to use this as a diagnostic tool. What I mean by that is that this is a decision helper, meaning that if you are in a bad situation, so how I perceive it, and this is why I'm really kind of almost uncomfortable to print this, but I think it's necessary because a lot of information is not out there. But you have access to a lot of information without the tools, and it kind of relates to the short one that I did on do you need like stethoscope and stuff like that. And what I want to talk about is that you have access to a lot of information to take better decisions. And this is why most of this discussion will be more on the why of this than the what to do about this, and the PowerPoint will give you all the information, and I want you to do your own research. But what I'm trying to achieve here is that here's how I perceive it. So you're in the house, you're in a bug-in position, and let's say there's a pandemic or whatever, there's a disaster out there. You're trying to stay in as much as possible. And this is where all my channel comes from, and this is why I really wanted to explain what these tools are about, because as you're going to take control of those tools, I don't want you to misuse them. So you're bugging, you have this person, you have to take a decision. You have a first aid, maybe you're even more, you're a first responder, or whatever training that you have medically, but now suddenly you have to take a decision about a person that you have in front of you, and it's way past what you've been trained for. And this is where all the self-reliance medicine, which I call self-reliance medicine, is hard to catch. Is that I have to try to provide what I'm trying to do when I do any videos, or I try to do any concepts or anything like this, is that I'm trying to give you how an expert would think, but seen through the eyes of a novice, or even someone that doesn't even have any knowledge to it. And the problem with this is that medicine does a lot of art more than science, and experience teach us. So the same person A and B can present the same way, but yet A I'll do X and B I'll do Z. Why? Because there's an art to it. There's nuance, there's gray zone, there's different things. And this will give you, what I'm trying to do is maybe 80%, 70% of the decision you'll make will help you take those nuance or actually make a decision. And here is not like, again, if you have any of the symptoms that you're worrisome to go to an emergency, please do not use those tools. If the grid is up, Please do not use those tools to self-diagnose yourself, to not go to the hospital. That's not what the point of this is. But again, let's go back to our scenario. You're in a bug-in situation. It's chaos out there. Going out could be risky. What I'm trying to provide you is, can I stay in a day or two more and take a better decision, or do I really have to take that risk? So it's a risk benefits decision making that I'm trying to teach you. And not teach you, really, provide you information. Just like when you're in the outdoor, and this is where I come from, more wilderness medicines and things. There's things in wilderness medicine or disaster medicine that you have to do because of the circumstance. If you would be, so for example, reverse triage. Somebody, like I mentioned in past videos, if somebody has a heart attack in front of us, well, at triage, in a regular day, we're going to put all our resource trying to resuscitate those people. And when I say all our resources, sometimes half of the department is in there trying to save a life. In the case of a disaster, it would be totally, we would put this person away aside, and it's not even our concern, because their role change. It becomes saving as many life as we can, more than saving one life that could kill other lives. So right there, because of the situation, there's a change. And this is the same thing that I'm trying to do. And so this is why there's a big warning about this, is that I do not want people to use this, if the grid is up, to self-diagnose themselves. Yeah, it's just this, I don't have to go home and stuff. But what I'm trying to show you is that there's tools that you could use to take a better decision. So again, on a scenario, you're bugging, you have this person, there's things that you can do. It's above your head, it's above first aid. You have to take a decision. Should I try to get into those camps, or to further, like, to go to those hospitals that are overwhelmed and everything, and how risky this is versus what I'm seeing. So this is what it is. It's a decision tool. It is not a diagnostic tool, because this is very limited, but what it is, because of the limitation of what it can offers. So with this on, we'll see. I'll pass quickly the presentation, but again, there'll be a link down as a Dropbox on access to different resource, and despite, like, again, access to this, so you can print, I guess, the all the slides and stuff. But this is more as a information tool to let you know that this is out there, and this is what you could potentially do. So here what we're seeing is basically, I won't explain everything, I'll explain a little bit, but it's tests that I'm talking about. And basically what I'm talking about is that despite the limitation of your capacity, not just as a person to diagnose stuff, but also because of your situation, because you're in a you don't have a hospital, you don't have a full lab to do some tests and things, but you still have to take decision. What I've put together here in that presentation is that with some tests, you can quickly, so stuff that people will produce, sputum, stools, and there's one coming soon that I'll talk here. So with things that people can produce, stool, sputum, urine, and blood, you can do, and those slides that I've shown, is that you could come out with a better idea. For example, you saw a lot of pictures of colors urine. So with a color urine, you can kind of have an idea, this is what I'm dealing with. Sputum, same thing, the consistency. And the finger, you'll see it's a slide on cervical testing, but I thought it was very representative. So for a quick test, because the slide before that, it tells you about mucoid or thick sputum or thin sputum, and if you don't work in the area, you're like, well, what does that mean? Well, I thought that cervical test is pretty quickly. So basically, this is one way of using what I'm providing here, is that somebody, let's say, spit, you obviously with glove hands, you put it in between your fingers and you pull, and then depending on this, then you know if it's thick and thin. And then again, it's not to say, oh, I believe that this is a pneumonia on the left lower lobes because of this and stuff. No, is that, whoa, my person X in front of me went from a thin sputum to now thick sputum. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. The situation is should I move there? Again, adding information and adding tools to you to take a better decision so that you can decide, should I go for those hospitals that are overwhelmed, higher risk, or am I good to kind of stay in, wait a day or two and see the situation and continue? This is what it is. It's not a diagnostic tool. It's a idea to give you opinions and stuff using things that you have at hand, meaning stools. Like, everybody will poop. Everybody will pee. Blood, it's easy to get. If you have like little thing that you poke on the fingers, it's easy to get. Sputum will only get if somebody is sick and stuff, but still, if they produce some, then you'll be able to analyze it.